Hello fellow Clashers, it is KairosTime and welcome to the Mega Knight Challenge Breakdown, where I give you all the tips that you need to win the Mega Knight Challenge. Thank you so much for jumping on today, guys. Today we're going to be covering a few different topics. We're going to do a stat breakdown on all of the stats that the Mega Knight has so that we can understand best how he works out. We're going to talk about counters to the Mega Knight that you're going to want to include in your decks. We're also going to talk about cards that he synergizes really well with, as well as talk about some challenge tips that I have to help you win that Mega Knight challenge, hopefully on your first try. Before we do that, let's go ahead and talk about what makes the Mega Knight so special. He lands into the arena like an Elixir Wizard does with his zap, but with the force of 1,000 mustaches. Well, if we take the 480 damage that he does when he lands into the arena, divided by 1,000, we get 0.48 damage per stash, and that means that it would take 5,280 mustaches to take out a Princess Tower. That's a lot of stash. Next, his real name? Possibly Brian. And also, he is possibly the builder from Clash of Clans. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the Mega Knight and his actual specific stats so that you understand exactly what you need to know to win this challenge. First off, we have the fact that he costs 7 Elixir. This makes him a high investment card. And because he's such a high investment card, equal to the Lava Hound or the Pekka, that means that you have to worry about other lane rushes if you do end up placing him back behind the King's Tower, or even in the other lane. It's actually better for you to play him when you can get good value with him on defense, or you can put him in the very back behind your King's Tower and build up a push when you do have an Elixir advantage, or you know your opponent is not able to counter or rush the other lane. He does have a medium movement speed that is similar to Giant Skeletons, Executioners, Ice Wizards, and also the Night Witch. Now, in addition to that, he does have kind of a bonus because of his ability to jump forward, and that is considered a speed bonus. This makes it so that it's really actually pretty difficult to support the Mega Knight with troops. The fact that he jumps forward means that he's going to be in battle alone a lot of the time. An Executioner is going to be a little difficult to get along with him because the Executioner moves slower than the Mega Knight does. He might be right there, but then the Mega Knight jumps right into action, and then the Executioner doesn't quite have the range to really give the Mega Knight the support that he really needs. It's actually really important that you are ready to support the Mega Knight with spells. You'd want to use the arrows and zap for bats and minions or minion hordes, and then lightning for a little bit tankier defensive troops, and also possibly Inferno Towers. Because he doesn't really do a great job at synergizing with some of these slower troops, it's actually a little bit better to mostly play him in a defensive situation rather than trying to build up a push around him. Play him a little bit defensively and then support him with maybe some cheaper, faster moving cards. Now, he does have a jump range from 4 tiles to 5 tiles, 4 being the minimum, 5 being the maximum. Now, his max range is 5. This is actually 1 less than the Bandit. The Bandit's max range is 6. So it's going to take him, he has to get a little bit closer to a troop before he's going to lock onto them and decide to jump to them. And this is a similar range to the Electro Wizard, the Bowler, or even the Witch. The range at which these troops are able to fire is the similar range at which he has to get to a troop before he'll lock on. This is also important to realize that where these troops have to be in order for them to lock onto the actual Princess Tower, that's the same distance that he's going to need to in order to lock onto the Princess Tower. He does have a minimum range at which he will jump of 4 tiles, and this is exactly the same as the Bandit. So if you really want to try and play defensively, you need to make sure that you're putting troops that are close to him, but not 4 tiles or more. Like 3 tiles away should be the perfect place to defend against the Mega Knight. Next, we have his regular damage. He does 240 area damage, and this is actually a pretty big deal. This is most similar to a Mortar, which does 228 damage, a Wizard, also 228, a Bowler is 239, almost exactly to the damage of a Mega Knight, and the perfect comparison to this is actually the log. So any troop that can be destroyed in 1 hit by a log will also be destroyed in 1 hit by the Mega Knight. Now, when he first enters into the arena, he comes down and does a 360-degree radius splash around him, but that's also true for when he locks onto a target, jumps on, and pounds onto them. 480 damage for both jumping and his spawning. This is an incredibly high amount of damage, and this is kind of similar to a regular fireball, not how much fireball does to a tower, but 572 damage for a fireball, and then a Dark Prince does 412 damage when he's charging, and then of course 3 Fire Spirits will do 507 damage if they're all locked onto the same thing. So about between 3 Fire Spirits and then also a charging Dark Prince. He comes into the arena with one of the highest hit points in the game, 3,300 hit points. Now this is most similar to the Pekka, which is 3,458, but it's actually almost identical to a giant, 3,344. So think about the threat of a giant coming down your lane and all the damage that you need to deal to that Mega Knight before it's going to be locking onto your tower and taking it out. You don't have to get rid of the Mega Knight as soon as it crosses the bridge, but you do have to be prepared to deal a lot of damage to the Mega Knight if you're going to get rid of it. As far as other stats concerned, he spawns in 1 second like a lot of other troops. He targets ground troops and is within melee range. As such, it's important to realize that he is going to be countered by some higher damaging air troops. But he hits once every 1.8 seconds. That is exactly the same as a mini Pekka. So you think about a mini Pekka and how long it takes. Pancakes, about like that. I didn't time myself, but you get the idea. That is how long you have to worry about the Mega Knight. Now let's go ahead and talk about some counters to the Mega Knight. We'll start out with high damage per second air troops. The bats, for example, the minions, the Inferno Dragon, the Mega Minion, and also the Minion Horde. Now, when it comes to all of the majority of these mean that you're going to really need something to distract the Mega Knight so that he doesn't lock onto the tower, so that you can clear him before he gets onto your tower. So bats, the minions, Inferno Dragon, maybe an okay troop to use sometimes, just depending on whether or not Zap or the Electro Wizard are commonly used in the meta. And then the Mega Minion I think will do a really great job because it's not fireballable. That's right, fireballable. And also you can't get rid of it with Zap, so I think Mega Minion will be a good option, especially if you can, but you do have to have some type of a troop distracting the Mega Knight. The Minion Horde is kind of a riskier troop to include in there. I'm not sure if minions are going to be used a lot in the actual meta. I have an idea that they will be, and so I think that people will be bringing arrows with the Mega Knight to try and get rid of minions and Minion Hordes. But the Minion Horde should be able to get rid of a Mega Knight before he's able to lock onto the tower and jump onto him. Other counters include well-placed swarms. We have the guards, the Goblin Gang, Skeleton Army, and then also archers. Now there are 2 places where you can actually place these swarms to really counter the Mega Knight. First off is right when he crosses the bridge, you place them right around him. And if you can place him right around him so he doesn't jump up and do 360-degree splash removal, then he should be able to just hit here, hit here, hit here, and then lock onto your tower. That should give you plenty of time to really try and take him out. Now, the second place that you're going to be placing the swarms are in the middle, the kill zone of the arena. If you do it, but you have to do this a little preemptively, what you'll do is you'll place it there, and then you need to do it within the right amount of time so that they will split, and as they split, he'll jump onto one of them, and then he'll have to walk over to the other one, and that should give you plenty of time. Now, the best cards to do this with are the archers. If you place them right in the middle and they split up so that when he jumps onto the first archer and kills her in one hit, then he'll have to walk to the other archer and hit her twice before taking her out. Obviously, the guards and the Goblin Gang and the Skeleton Army would also be good options for this, but the archers I think are the best example. Guards, I'm not 100% sure that they're going to be the best. They may be good options as far as distracting units, so that you can have air troops really take him out. They just lack in their DPS. He will take them out in 2 shots, one for the shield and one for their regular hit points. Other counters to the Mega Knight include the cheap tanks. So we're talking the Ice Wizard, which will take 3 hits to kill. We're talking the regular Knight, which will take 6 hits to kill the regular Knight. definitely a great option to be using for this for 3 elixir. The Ice Golem will take 5 hits. The one benefit to the Ice Golem over the regular tank, or the regular knight, is the fact that the Ice Golem will pull him to the other arena and really act as a great kite for the Mega Knight. Obviously, you do have to support with either one of those. The Knight will do a little bit more damage, so it kind of depends on your playstyle and what you want to do. And then also the Mini Pekka. Now, the Mini Pekka takes 5 hits to kill from the Mega Knight, and the Mini Pekka takes 6 hits to kill the Mega Knight. And obviously, all of these hits, if you place them right on top of him, these are the amount of times that the Mega Knight will have to take to regularly take it out. If you place them so that they're at a distance and he jumps to them, then they take 1 less to take out. So the Ice Wizard would be 2, Knight would be 5, and then 4 for the Ice Golem, and then 4 also for the Mini Pekka. Some other counters are going to include the Tornado. If the Tornado acts on the Mega Knight similar to it at how it acts on the Bandit, it is going to, then the Mega Knight will lock onto the tower, you can Tornado it away, and then he's gonna have to walk back and then relock onto the tower. I think that this could be a good option if you do have some troops there to really damage him and get rid of him before he's able to get back within tower range. Then we also have the Battle Ram. Now, it takes 4 hits to get rid of the Battle Ram. 3 if he's jumping to him, which in most cases you're going to want to do that anyways. But then it also takes another 3 hits to get rid of the regular barbarians. This should be plenty of time for you to be able to get rid of the Mega Knight, and of course those barbarians are going to be locked onto the Mega Knight and really dealing some damage as well. Great kite ability, but also offers some offense as well on hopefully a counter push if you can get rid of the Mega Knight fast enough. Then we also have, obviously, the Mega Knight. It would be ideal if you are able to support the Mega Knight and then go for an offensive push afterwards. We also have the Pekka. The Pekka takes 5 hits to get rid of the Mega Knight, but survives with a lot of health. As such, I think that the Pekka could be a good option. You could have kind of a dual win condition situation where you have 2 troops that are very similar, and you just kind of take turns going on offense with the Pekka, then going on offense with the Mega Knight after you turn your defenses into offenses. That might be a good option, but I really don't recommend including a Pekka and a Mega Knight in one single push, because that's just an extremely susceptible push to air. It might work out. We'll have to see exactly, but I have a hunch that that's going to be too expensive to really be a solid option. We also have the Night Witch. The Night Witch takes 4 hits from the Mega Knight to really take out, but then she's also spawning those bats while she's hitting him. Lastly is the Inferno Tower. This is probably going to be the most reliable way to counter the Mega Knight. Now, it does not offer any offensive capabilities, so if you're going to include the Inferno Tower in your deck, make sure it's because your deck needs that defense and doesn't need as much offense. But the Inferno Tower will last plenty of hits before the Mega Knight takes it out fully, and because the Mega Knight is difficult to support with troops, it's going to be difficult to really distract that Inferno Tower. As such, people will most likely be carrying Zap, as well as Lightning, possibly even Electro Wizards to pair up with that to try and get rid of that Inferno Tower. Now let's go ahead and talk about some synergy cards that go well with the Mega Knight. Now, I don't actually think that the Mega Knight is as good of a win condition like the Hog Rider or Miner to be able to really get rid of a tower by himself. As such, I think it would be very beneficial to include some other win conditions in your deck and go for some type of a hybrid deck with this Mega Knight, using the Mega Knight on defense and doing counter pushing with him, and then also doing split pushes. I think that the Bandit is going to be a killer combination with the Mega Knight. The fact that they both jump and dash means that if you can get that Mega Knight or the tower locked onto the Mega Knight paired up with the Bandit, they're going to be a killer combination. Also, the Miner, where you have the Mega Knight tanking for the Miner, and then you have the Miner in the very far back, and then hopefully be able to get that Mega Knight to jump onto the tower. Also, Goblin Barrels as well, I think, could be a good option. As well as Hog Riders. There's a lot of Hog Rider combinations that could work out. Battle Rams, and then I do think that the Mortar actually could be a solid option. We'll see exactly how that goes, but I think that could be an option for some people that are really good with the Mortar. As I said earlier, I think that some of the best counters to the Mega Knight include air troops. As such, it's very important for you to include some type of anti-air that can be quickly used. Obviously, we have the Tornado, Arrows, and Zap. And then we also have the Mega Minion. The minions, I like the idea of doing the minions with the Mega Knight because they can go in really fast. They're faster than the Mega Knight, so if he jumps and dashes forward, they should be able to kind of keep up with him. Then all these, obviously the bats, depending on how frequently used Zap is in the meta, and then Fire Spirits. I think that the Fire Spirits could be a solid option. I'm not 100% convinced that the Fire Spirits are going to be the best option, but they might be worth considering when you're building your deck. Some other impossibilities could include Electro Wizards and Lightnings to really help get rid of Inferno Towers. The Baby Dragon and the Dark Prince may possibly work out well with the Mega Knight. And then obviously the opposite type of synergy, we do have the Mini Pekka, the Inferno Dragon, and possibly the Lumberjack. Mini Pekka and Lumberjack, I've thought about those because of their ability to go quickly. They have a faster move speed than the Mega Knight, and that could offer a lot of could cover a lot of weaknesses the Mega Knight might have to tankier troops like the Knight or other Mini Pekkas and such. Finally, we do have the Elixir Collector. Because the Mega Knight costs 7 Elixir, I think that the Elixir Collector could be a good option depending on the deck that you're building. Now let's cover some very important challenge tips that I have so that you can win this. In this challenge, there is one constant. That is the Mega Knight. Everyone will have the Mega Knight in their deck. That means you need to be able to counter the Mega Knight. You need to make sure that your deck isn't super countered by the Mega Knight. Also, very important is to prepare. You want to get this legendary the very first try, your free try, so you can get those extra 100 gems and all the other cards, and then just move on with your life and focus on building up your awesome Mega Knight decks. So it's important to prepare. Make sure that you watch Clash with Ash's videos. You know that he's going to be including some videos on the best decks to use with the Mega Knight, and make sure you're also watching Orange Juice, specifically Orange Juice's video that he's going to release the very first day that the Mega Knight comes out, where he talks about all the interactions between the Mega Knight and all the other cards. That's going to help solidify a lot of the things that I've left missing from this video, because you're going to be able to get them from both of those places. Also, try to learn from others. There are people going to be winning really quickly, and they're going to be posting their videos on YouTube, Twitter, on Reddit, Facebook, all over the place. So learn from others, learn what kind of cards are good and which cards are not good from those other players. The best time to play is sooner than later. You don't want to play within like the first 5 hours, because that's when a bunch of pros are going to be jumping right in there trying to get it, be the first person possible to get the Mega Knight and try him out, and a lot of YouTubers as well will be doing stuff like that. But after that, you want to join as soon as you can so that you're playing against other people that aren't the pros. Also, very important is to play your own play style. Don't go into this challenge with a totally different playstyle than you're ever used to. Play what feels best to you, build a deck around your own personal playstyle, and then you should be able to do really well. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this, make sure you subscribe, drop a comment in the section below letting me know what you thought about this video and if I should do more videos like this in the future. This is KairosTime ticking by, and we will see you in the arena.